So I recently bought this Canon EOS RP, and you're probably thinking, why would anybody ever buy this this camera today? Even when it was released a few years ago, it was highly criticized for being a little bit of like has legacy technology inside. For example, it has this looks like it has the same sensor as Canon EOS 6D Mark II. It has like really low dynamic range for a camera from that age. I just bought it because it's a compact full frame camera. It's probably one of the most compact full frame cameras you can get. Probably the Leica Q is more compact, or is it the Sigma? What is called the Sigma? What is it called, LP? Or I forgot. But that one doesn't have a real shutter inside. So I think this is something you can bring in a small bag, and you can always bring it with you. And I think sharpness-wise, it's okay. The thing that's kind of lacking about this camera to me is mostly of course, the dynamic range is terrible, but that you can kind of get around in a way. You can watch out for the highlights. To me, the biggest downside is that on these modern Canon cameras, the colors are not that great. And in the past, people have always said, "Oh, Canon colors are always great," right? Maybe it's not like how people rant about Fuji colors or something, but people always like the Canon colors, especially for portraits and stuff. But I was also doing this rant video, is it a year ago or something, about the Canon EOS R8, and I also mentioned in that video that the Canon colors have changed. You know, it's not the same as the old Canon colors. So I was just thinking about doing this video to compare it a little bit. Look at some of the older cameras and how the colors from those cameras look. So to look at the colors, I found a lot of old photos I took with the older Canon cameras. We're gonna go through them, each camera, kind of sorted by the early cameras, and end up with the recent cameras. And it's not gonna be some kind of super scientific thing. It's just gonna be like my experience with the cameras. And you can judge yourself from the pictures. The first camera I'm going to start with is a Canon EOS 350D. I also mentioned it here on the YouTube channel. I also tried the 300D, which came out the year before, and I also tried the 400D, and they are kind of the same. So this is more like, when I'm talking about this camera, it's more like how those cameras were in the beginning, Canon's early APS-C, APS-H digital cameras. Here's a picture I took from Copenhagen. I think the colors look very good, and it's just shot wide open on the 50mm. I think actually the colors from this sensor look very good. It has a lot of flaws, like it has super low dynamic range. It's a little bit unsharp, the images and stuff. It's low megapixel. You can do a lot of kind of AI upscaling and stuff. You can, DxO, Pure Raw, use all those programs to kind of tweak it a little bit. But like, you're often going to get these super overexposed highlights and stuff. But besides that, I think the colors looks good. Here's a picture of my son. Also, I think they're nice colors. And here, this is an example where I try to kind of use some DxO Pure Raw to kind of get some extra sharpness. You can really get a lot of extra sharpness from these files. But again, you often see these kind of blown out highlights, you know. Yeah, and this camera is from 2005, I forgot. Now we go on to the next camera, which is from 2008. It's the Canon EOS 5D Mark II. It's from 2008. There were also a famous camera released before that, the 5D Mark I, which they always talk about the colors, and it has these kind of pastel colors. I never tried it, but it also looks like a very good camera color-wise. I think I bought this Mark II, and I also plan to buy the Mark I, but I would say that one of the things I don't like about these early Canon cameras, early full-frame Canon cameras, is that they are a little bit unsharp. They always call it fat pixels when you look in forum threads and stuff. I kind of like sharpness, so that's why I never went for that Mark I, also to try that. But the colors do look good from this camera. Let me show you. Yeah, this may be not the best example here, but for example, here it's just straight out of camera. Also here it renders green very nice, I think, which is often something, especially in modern sensors, the green look terrible, and you just have green everywhere, you know, in all your pictures. So and here also, yeah, it's just like a straight out of camera, you know, it's city life photo. I think it looks great. Then we continue a bit. We go to 2016, the Canon EOS 80D. So we kind of jump a few years. I would say these cameras, they feel a lot more modern. Like you can record good modern HD video on them, those kind of things. It has good autofocus, all those things. But it also has still have good colors, I would say. I would say these cameras here now, that's going to come now, is the last of the good colors from Canon. The 80D was one of the last ones. I think it's a really great camera color-wise. I see personally, I'm a little bit tired of DSLR and having an optical viewfinder. I know a lot of people, they say the opposite, but I actually really like the mirrorless design. You have a flip screen, all those things. But I think, yeah, colors are just great, you know, from this camera. Then this is the last Canon camera where I found some good colors. It's called the Canon EOS M6, and it's released in 2019. So the M6, like I said, in my experience, the last Canon camera I tried with good colors. This is I remember I took this in early kind of spring in Copenhagen, and normally colors are very harsh at this time, and especially the greens always look different than it does in my eye, and I just think this camera kind of captures it very in a very good way. I also like the yellow colors, and then I also like these kind of, sometimes when it was overcast, I got this kind of faded colors. I really like. This is just straight out of camera from the straight out of camera. I really like those what I call the green, and I really like the orange colors. I think that it looks so beautiful. And maybe you can say, you can use some kind of profile to get it or something. Probably you can probably do that, but I'm not sure if it's the same. Yeah, I just think so easy to to get good colors with this camera. I remember when I owned this camera, then I think the colors looked a little bit too classic, maybe. Where at that time I was more into this kind of hipster look from my Fuji cameras, like the classic chrome and stuff. But it's very classic colors from these cameras, I would say. And that's also why Canon got this reputation of having, it's not too crazy colors, just like standard beautiful colors, especially good for portraits and stuff like that. And here's also a picture of where you see the beautiful green colors. I think, it's hard to get that on a lot of other cameras. I would say also when I try to tweak it and stuff in Lightroom or something, I can just not get the same. And then, this was this is like the first mirrorless camera I tried from Canon, and they hadn't really gone all the way into it at that point. Then they also released a M6 Mark II, which had a lot better feature. They had 32 megapixel and better autofocus and stuff. Like the M6 had really bad autofocus, to be honest. So it's like, it sounds good on paper, so I bought it. And then you look at the colors. Maybe you guys cannot really see, but I could just instantly see that it was not the same. For example, I think the skin tones here look really bad, and it just looks terrible, I think. I think I actually deleted a lot of the pictures I took with the camera, so I couldn't find that many. But I remember I got very disappointed, and I hope, maybe it's just like a one-time thing. But then I tried some other cameras from Canon, newer Canon cameras, and it was the same, or maybe even worse. This is what I bought recently. the Canon EOS RP. It's from 2019, so it's 5 years old now, or is it 6 years old now? Shit, time fly. But yeah, it's not like you cannot take good pictures with this camera. If you're in a beautiful scenario with beautiful light, of course you're gonna get a good picture, but it doesn't produce good pictures in average light situations or something. It has to be really good. Where I would say I have some other cameras where you can basically just get good pictures anywhere, I would say. So yeah, for example, this picture, I remember the lighting was extremely good when we were out here at this boat, and it was so beautiful. And I kind of like this picture, but I think I could have got a good picture with any camera, probably something even better with some other cameras. So yeah, it's not like I haven't enjoyed using this. I used it for soon half a year or something, but I haven't really taken any good pictures I really enjoy, to be honest. And then I also tried Canon EOS R8, which a lot of people might say, oh, it's like all these cameras you're mentioning are like entry-level cameras, but this has the same, R8 has the same sensor as R6 Mark II, and that's an expensive camera, so at least it used to be one. So yeah, it should be good. I just think, for example, this was in China. It's like the colors were great when you looked at, but then the in real life, in the camera, it was very ugly. And here's like with the EF 85mm f1.8 portrait lens, and it's like it looks kind of good actually, but everything looks good on a portrait lens normally. So it's like, or here, it's like it actually looks pretty good, but not in necessarily a beautiful way, I would say. Yeah, so I'm not sure where to look if you want a good Canon camera. Some people don't care about colors, then yeah, then you shouldn't listen to this video. Or if you're happy with your Canon camera, then ignore this video. This is like for the snobs, This is for the nerds. I also don't know if there is really a sweet spot, because if you go back to, like I mentioned, my two favorite cameras when it came to color was actually the M6 Mark 1, and it was also the 80D. I also tried the 70D and the 60D. Those ones were a little bit more like towards, they didn't have as sharp as a look and stuff. So I would say actually 80D M6, that's kind of the sweet spot to me. Then afterwards you go into this kind of only mirrorless age where they apparently change the colors somehow. So I haven't tried, for example, like the 1DX Mark II or something. That's kind of from the same age as M6 and stuff. So maybe someone could try some of those cameras, see if you can get something a little bit more sharper and with a full frame look and the same color. Who knows? Maybe. I think personally I had enough of Canon. I think, of course, like famous last words, but I think for me, I'm done with it. I'm gonna sell it at some point, and then I'm probably not gonna return. But I think it's a little bit of a pity that they changed the color so much, because otherwise I would actually have enjoyed it. Also, if they kind of open up the lens, like you could get third-party lenses. I think they have done that a little bit. Then that would also help. Those two things would help a lot with the mirrorless, what I call the RF lens and camera system. But yeah, I would love to hear what you guys think. What did is it just me? Is it me imagining these things, or did the colors actually change? Or what do you think is kind of the sweet spot for the Canon cameras? I think if I had to buy a new Canon camera just for the colors, I think I might go with the 80D. I think there was actually something very satisfying about that camera. I would also love to hear if you are following this channel and you are like a camera snob like me and like the good image quality and the good colors and stuff. what do you recommend me trying next? I've been getting a lot into medium format, digital medium format the last couple of years. But I tried I'm looking for something more practical. I have those kind of phase one cameras, like what I call it, the Kodak Pro bag and Mamiya ZD bag. They're not very practical. I would love to have something that I can bring every day in my bag or something. I bought the Fuji GFX 50S two times and returned it. And try some different lenses and stuff. I got a little bit disappointed. I found out that it actually looks like the Fuji GFX 50S, the first model. It has a little bit better colors actually, so I might try that. And I also found out that some of the lenses don't have this kind of clinical look. For example, it look like the 50 pancake lens is more like, has a little bit more character. So I think I might go for that one day and try it out. I'm also very curious about this kind of Hasselblad X system. I will say I don't really love the pictures I see from it online, but I would love to hear what you guys think. At least Hasselblad, what is it called, 907 X. The design of that camera is so cool. And also with the 45mm f4 tiny lens, that looks like the coolest setup, at least from design wise. But I would also love to hear from you guys what you guys recommend as a next thing to try out. Like I said, I'm looking for something a little bit more practical, but also high quality. Yeah, love to hear from you guys. Take care.